Hi everyone, my name is Christine from These Succulent Betties, and here we talk all about succulent care tips and how to grow them. Today I'm going to give you guys an update on my succulents under my Spider Farmer SF1000 LED grow lights. So it took some time for me to play around and adjust the distance between my plants and the lights to see what would work out for them. But I have had them here in this kind of setting for about a little bit over a month now. And all the plants, depending on the height of the pots, are anywhere in between 11 to 15 inches away from the lights. I have the SF1000, the newer model that has the dimming knob. So here's the dimming knob. I have it set anywhere between 60 and 70 every day for 12 hours a day, and that seems to work for my plants. I had to dim the lights a little bit so you guys can see the plants a little bit better because it is really bright. I want to show you some examples of what had happened to some of my plants down here. So this crassula avata right here, I actually just put this here yesterday because I want the stress colors to come out. It was under another grow light, but now I am trying to test it under here. Why? Because you see this little crassula avata right here? This was a cutting that I actually took from that one right there. And one has been under my SF1000 for over a month now. I'm not sure how much time, but probably even 2 months. And look at the difference in color. This actually is showing a lot of its variegation, and the more stress it gets, I believe it can actually turn red. Look at how green that one is, and it was under a different grow light, but getting the same amount of light 12 hours a day. But under my SF1000, those are the stress colors that I would get, and this is even more off to the side. It's not even directly right under the lights. So that's one of the results that I like that I got from it. You can see my baby's necklace right here. This was actually struggling for a while until I repotted it, and since I put it under the lights, it was actually really green. Since I put it under the lights, it started showing its red stress colors. Here, these are my Echeveria Texas Rose, Echeveria Runioni Texas Rose. I will show you a picture of how they look before I put them under the lights, and they actually have really grown a lot since then. They seem to really like the lights. My camera can't capture the color right now, but towards the center there's actually a lot of pink hints of stress colors, and they have grown really quickly under these lights. I wanted to show you guys this updated video because pretty soon I am going to uproot the bigger ones to put them in their own pots so they can grow bigger a little bit faster, and I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna place them under these same lights. Right here I have my Sedum Burro's tail. I forgot what episode, but I will put it up on the screen for you. In that episode, this wasn't this grown yet, and under my SF1000 they have grown a whole lot, especially this one right here. Actually, I think it was about the size of this when I first started growing it under these lights, and now look at how big it is, and it has managed, this branch right here has managed to pop, and then the rest of it, you can see all the new growth is really nice and compact. You can see some of the burn marks here. That is when I had my dimming knob set at the max at about 100 as far as the power of the light goes, and I guess it was too intense, and it did end up burning the tips of some of my Sedum Burro's tail here. So like I said, you're gonna want to play around with that dimming knob for the first few weeks and see what works for you, but it is a really good investment, guys. I know that it does cost a little bit more than a lot of other grow lights available out there, but for the results that you will get and for the amount of plants that it can have right under it, this is worth it. Right here are my Sedum clavatum clusters. I will show you a picture of how they look when I first received them from the mail, and they are doing really well under the SF1000. A lot of growth on them. and they really like it. I'm starting to get some yellowing as for stress colors there. It's not because they're wilting, it's just because they are under these lights for 12 hours a day and they like it. I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, I don't know, maybe in time they will variegate for me. I really do hope so, but if they don't, I like how they are growing right under it. As you know, sedums, I noticed that sedums actually need more light than echeverias, and these are not getting leggy. You see some of the stems are actually quite leggy here. That is naturally how they grow, and that is how I got them. But all the new growth has been really nice and compact, and you can tell just by looking at them that they are really happy under these lights. Right here are my Graptopetalum Purple Delights leaf propagations that I planted. These actually grew a lot since I put them under my lights. These were probably half the size of they are now, and it's only been a little over a month compared to when I first put them there. But if you guys want to put propagations under these lights, they grow quite quickly compared to just growing them outdoors in the shade. Right here I have a really nice and compact Echeveria Lola. I am not good at keeping these guys alive, but so far under these lights, it's doing really well. I have watered her about twice since then, and I think the reason why it's doing well is because under these lights the soil does dry out a little bit quicker than if you had your succulents outdoors or under lights that are not as intense as the SF1000. So the fact that I can water the soil and I know that it'll dry a lot faster has actually really helped my Echeveria Lola, because I don't know, this Echeveria really doesn't seem to like that much moisture at all. Here is a Graptosedum Ghosty that has finally managed to get nice and compact because it's getting enough light. Look at how long that stem got, because it was so leggy for the longest time. Regular pink and blue lights don't really work for my ghosties unless they're right up against the light, because they do seem to require a lot more light than other succulents in order to stay compact. And I would say this is about 12 inches away from my lights, and it has started to grow nice and compact from there. When I put her under light, she was already leggy, and then the brightness of the lights and the intensity has seemed to fix her, so that's a really good thing. Here I have another ghost plant. This is more of the variegated version. It turns pinks and purples and blues when it's really stressed, but right now it's not that stressed because it has just been watered. I think it's a Sedivaria Emerald Ripple or a Sedivaria Letizia. I'm really not sure, because in order for it to be Letizia, I would have to get the red stress colors, and so far it has stayed green for me. This did not look well at all, and it was a lot smaller when I placed it here as a cutting because it was struggling. But since I put it under the SF1000, look at how nice and compact it's growing. This here I think is called an Echeveria secunda. The reason why the outer leaves out here are a little bit spread out is because I had it more towards the side of the lights, not right under like I have right now. As you can see, all the new growth now that I put it directly under the lights is nice and compact. This is my Pachyvaria clavifolia that has been growing here for, I would say this has been here since the beginning. That's about 2.5 months ago, and you can see that all the new growth is really nice and compact. I actually planted this one as a cutting and it has fully rooted since then. I have some leaf propagations down here that just grew in the soil. They actually weren't even getting that much light, but because the light is so intense, they have grown really nicely. Look at how compact the top growth is, and then more new growth right here. And then here I have a variegated Portulacaria afra that was completely bare when I put it under these lights, and you can see there's a bunch of new growth now, and look at that nice variegation. This one right here, this is just the regular Portulacaria afra. This was also pretty bare when I placed it under the lights, and now it has produced a lot of new growth since being put under. Here is a mixed pot of a bunch of succulents that I just have together in one pot. These here were actually Graptoveria fredives leaf propagations, and look at that growth that look at how much they've grown since being put under these lights. I do have to behead this one right here, but it was getting really leggy under regular other cheaper lights that I have, and since I put it under the these lights, look at the new growth. It's all nice and compact and nice and round. I don't know if I want to keep it that way because I actually think it's really cute. And then down there are just a bunch of leaf propagations that are also growing in the pot. And then here, I also have these growing under my lights. This is it called adenium? Desert rose. Actually, I'm trying to feel the stem right now. It is soft, so that means I have to water it pretty soon. But yeah, if you guys have desert roses, they grow really well under these lights too. But you're gonna want to put them more off to the side instead of directly under the lights, because and then the leaves will dry out. But they do really well under these lights. Actually, these have to go outside pretty soon. These were gifted to me as seedlings, so it was really tiny. I believe they have sprouted. When they were given to me, they just sprouted, and they were only about maybe 2 weeks old, 2 weeks to a month old, and they really like these lights. And last but not least, of course, I have some propagations under these lights as well. Here are different leaf propagations that I have. These guys are not directly under the SF1000. It is more off to the side, so it just gets maybe, you know, a lot of bright indirect light, basically, if you were to compare it to sunlight outdoors. And look at how well they are growing. I don't know how old everything is, but I would say everything in this tray right here is less than 2 months old, except for these guys over here, because I just transferred these and they were already kind of grown. But since then, they've grown a lot faster and a lot better. Here's a closer look at some of my leaf propagations. I would say this is about a month's progress. Look at how much growth I got out of them. I've noticed that when you put leaf propagations, guys, under grow lights, they tend to grow a lot faster. And because you can control the temperatures indoors and it's not as hot outdoors, the mother leaves actually don't dry out as fast. And then as long as the mother leaves are still nice and green and alive, those babies do grow a lot faster. So I think that's why I am getting a lot of growth from my leaf propagations. They're obviously all at different stages, but they do really like being under these lights. These right here, I believe, are Graptovaria Douglas Hutt leaf propagations. These are Echeveria subsessilis. This is my Seedvaria Emerald or Letizia. I forgot what that purple one is called. And then right here, this is actually a baby Frizzle Sizzle that didn't root for me for the longest time. And since I put it in here, it has actually started to root. I can feel it when I pull on it, but I don't want to pull on it right now because I don't want to rip those roots. It just took so long to root, but so far that bulb is still alive. That's about it for my 2-month update of my succulents under my Spider Farmer SF1000, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. Again, this is Christine from these Succulent Biddies. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.